Why on earth do you still have the bulk of your savings at a regular brick and mortar bank? It's great that you're saving. That's fantastic, right? That's what we should be doing, but don't just save to save, right? You need to save to invest if you want to get ahead. But I'm not even going that far, right? That's not even what I'm talking about, right? No matter how much money we have available for us to invest, there's always going to still be a portion that you keep in cash, right? That is readily accessible, that you need to have liquid funds like your emergency fund, right? Or if you're saving up for a house or a car or some big purchase, right? The type of money that you want to have tucked away in a safe place that is not exposed to the kind of risk that usually comes with higher higher yielding investments, right? But the thing is, all your hard work, right, that you have stored away inside your regular brick and mortar savings account is gradually leaking, okay? The value of your hard work, right? The value of that money is, it's leaking. It's leaking big time. Whether it's from inflation, right? And the purchasing power is going down over time if it's just sitting in there, or just basically the extremely low interest rates that these regular brick and mortar banks provide, okay? Now, am I saying that you should close your regular brick and mortar account? Of course not, okay? You can still keep them so as to make use of the advantages that they bring. Like, for example, the ability to just walk into the brick and mortar bank and pick up cash or deposit cash, or use the numerous ATMs that they have all over the place, right? Which a lot of times the alternative that I'm about to suggest to you might not necessarily bring. So it's good to have both, right? So that you can move money in between, right? And keep your brick and mortar bank for that purpose, or for whatever other advantage or customer service or things that they have that you may like, right? That you want to hold on to, okay? So that's that. Now let's go take a look at some of these interest rates that I'm talking about, right? So as a good example, let's just look at like the interest rates of some of the biggest brick and mortar banks here in the US, right? So Bank of America is definitely one of the big four, right? I just Googled Bank of America savings account interest rate, right? And this AI overview here tells me something about Bank of America's Advantage savings account is at about 0.01 APY, okay? And then if you qualify for like their higher value account, you can get like a 0.04% APY. So I went ahead and just double checked, went to the Bank of America website and pulled up some of their stuff, right? Like this is a PDF from their site here for a local bank that, North Carolina, where I'm located. And standard pricing, right? So you can see their interest rates, APY 0.01%. For the different kind of accounts, right? And then you have the gold at 0.02%, platinum 0.03, platinum honor 0.04, diamond 0.04, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then let's go I did the same thing for Wells Fargo. I did a Google search for Wells Fargo interest rates. Wells Fargo is also one of the biggest banks in the U.S., right? Brick and mortar banks. And here they are talking about variable interest rates of 0.01% again, all right? Then if you have like maybe their platinum savings, they'll give you up to 0.25%. That's actually, considering brick and mortar bank, but anyway, 1.01, all right, all the way up to that, okay? And then I also looked at JP Morgan Chase, which I believe is the biggest brick and mortar bank in the US, right? Their Chase savings 0.01 APY, Premier Relationship 0.02. Okay. Now let's go to a compound interest calculator, right? And see what these kind of numbers are bringing. So let's just say, you had $10,000, right? $10,000 sitting, which is, part of your emergency fund or something that you're saving for the down payment on a house, whatever the case may be, right? Like some money that you want to keep safe, far away from the dangers or risks that come with higher yielding investments, right? Because this is not money you want to play around with. It needs to be there, and you need to be able to access it really quickly. So that $10,000, right, initial investment, let's just say is, that $10,000 that we have, right, Monthly contribution, nothing, right? 0. Length of time after 1 year, right? Those annual percentage yields. What is that? Okay, I don't need that. 1 year, and then estimated interest rate. So let's take the high end, all right? Let's just take the high end as opposed to the 0.01%. Let's go with the 0.04%, okay? And you take that for 1 year, right? So if we were to calculate how much interest we would be making on that $10,000, right? After 1 year, we would have made a whopping $4, okay? $4 is how much we would have made. As far as like purchasing power goes, we would have probably lost money. Just, I mean, when you take into account like inflation and stuff like that. But anyway, let's just for simple basic purposes, let's not even factor in inflation. Let's just say in a perfect world, everything stayed the same, right? As far as like our APY goes and the purchasing power and all that. $10,000, we would have made $4 on that $10,000. Okay. Now, if you were to open an account with a high yield savings account, okay, high yield savings account, they tend to have much higher interest rates, right? That is where I would suggest that's where I would suggest that you, keep this money that you want saved, right? Now, there's one that I recommend, right? It's going to be, you may have heard, if you've been on this channel before for a while, you've heard me talk about it, right? And it's SoFi Bank. And at the time of this recording, they are currently paying 4%, right? Up to 4% APY, right? 4%. So if you take that same $10,000, right? You take that same $10,000, right? And we change the interest rate, the estimated interest rate to 4%. That same $10,000 would yield you $10,400, okay? $10,400. So you would have made $400 on your money. Of course, the more money that you have saved in there, the more you would make, right? So $20,000 would get you $10,800, okay? And even if you factor in inflation, you would still come you would, assuming, let's just say inflation was at 2% or so, like, typical 2.2%, 2.5%, 3%, whatever, you would still come out on top, right? But like I said, for simple purposes, let's not even factor that in, okay? So you look at that and you ask, like, I asked myself, like, why on earth do you still keep your money in a regular brick and mortar account, like when it comes to your savings, right? I can tell you why I was still doing it, right? It's because I didn't know any better, right? I simply did not know any better. I just didn't know about, high yield savings accounts. I didn't even know that was a thing. For me, in my mind, I was like, if you got to make some decent amount of money in just interest, you'd only have, it's like a certificate, a CD, right? Certificate of deposit and stuff, where it's typically going to be locked up, right, for X amount of time. And you've got to wait. You don't have access to the funds. Or if you take it out early, there's some kind of penalty, stuff like that. And even with those at your regular brick and mortar bank, they're not even as high as, like this 4%, right? So if you have money tucked away, why not keep it inside a high yield savings account like the one I'm, like SoFi, right? You would make a whole lot more money, right? Passively, right? So 15,000, for example, let's just say you had 15,000 in there, right? You would be making $100 passively $50. Let's try that. So 15,000, if you had, let's say 15,000 as your emergency fund, 6 months worth of savings, right? That would cover me, for example, right? $2,500 is all I need to survive, right? The $2,500 is on a monthly basis, right? And so that would be up to 6 months worth of 6 months worth of living expenses. So at 15,000 and 1 year, that same 4%, and then we were calculated. So my 15,000 would be worth $600, right? So if I were to divide that by 12, so I'll be 50. So I'll essentially be making $50 per month. So if you had $30,000 in there, you'd be making $100 per month on top of, just passively. That's real passive income, okay? So why not, right? Now, SoFi is short for social finances, but I guess it's It's their full name. It is a they are like a personal financial services company, right? It's like a 16, 17, 18 billion dollar company. Now, they're not the only one, right? There are other high yield savings accounts companies out there that you can use, right? You can do your research, find the one that works for you. But SoFi is the one that I like. It's the one that I'm using, right? It's the one that I know works for me, so which is why I'm suggesting it to you, okay? And if you want to get, the good thing about them is that they will offer you a $25 welcome bonus. So if you just open the account and use your existing bank account connected to your SoFi account and deposit $50 in there, right? If you go through the sign up process, you can do it that way, ACH transfer, or just use your existing bank issued debit card and deposit $50 into your account, and you will in my case, it took about 15 to 20 minutes. You will get a $25 welcome bonus. Now, if you click that first link in the description below this video, it will take you to a page that looks like this one right here. That is my referral link, and it is something that you will get access to as well, right? So that you can refer other people to join SoFi as well. And for each person that you recommend to join SoFi that actually does go and open an account and fund it, right? You know, $50 or more, they will give you a $75 commission, okay? $75 for referring people. So the one thing I should mention, full disclosure, right, I should mention is that ideally, to get that 4%, they want you to have a set up direct deposit. And all you need to do, you don't need to deposit your entire paycheck in there, just a tiny amount, whatever the amount is deposited in there, right? Just as long as it's coming from an employer, right? Direct deposit, or if you have direct deposit with money coming from the government, or it's like Social Security or whatever the case, some kind of payment that is a consistent regular payment coming through, you'll get that 4%. If not, you'll get 1.2%, right, on your savings account, which is still way higher than any of those brick and mortar banks that you're probably keeping your money at right now, okay? So click that first link in the description below. It will take you to a page that looks like this one, okay? And the other good thing is zero fees. You're not going to pay any, they don't charge any kind of fees and all that type of stuff, right? Early payday. But now I know this here says you can get $325, right, if you use my referral link, right? Well, here's how to get that additional $300 if it's something that is of interest to you, okay? Just doing what I already said, you will get $25, right? Okay. To get that additional $300, you have to, with it from the day of your first direct deposit, right? Within, so 25 days from that day, right? If you deposit at least, if you have $5,000 come through in direct deposits, $5,000 or more, you will get a $300 bonus, okay? If you have anywhere from anything equal to or greater than $1,000, right? But less than $5,000, anywhere in that range, they will give you a $50 bonus, okay? But if you want to get that full $325, just open an account. You'll get $25 for just as a welcome bonus, just for depositing $50, opening the account and depositing $50. And then if you set up direct deposit, and then within 25 days of that initial direct deposit, deposit $5,000 or more, you will get an additional $300 for free as a bonus, okay? So that's essentially it. That is if you want to keep your money working for you, which is one of the things that we're looking to do here, one of the things that you ought to be doing if you are interested in getting your money working for you and getting to, doing every little bitty thing that you can do to help you achieve financial independence, right? Every opportunity to make some extra money, even in this case where you're not doing anything extra, right? You're not working more, you're not working harder, you're just putting your money to work for you, right? Each little dollar is like your little money grabbing soldier, right? But it needs to be in a place that is actually working for you, okay? So your brick and mortar bank is not it, okay? A high yield savings account, that's where you want to keep your readily accessible cash. The good thing about SoFi, by the way, is that they do have they will send you a debit card in the mail, right? And when you open that high yield savings account, you will have a checking account opened as well automatically, right? You just go through the application one time, or fill out the form, to open the account, and then you'll automatically get a savings and a checking account. And guess what? The checking account, you don't even have to pay any fees on it, as you typically would with a lot of these brick and mortar banks, like a $5 per month maintenance fee and all that. Here, they don't charge any fees for that. If anything, they actually even pay you interest on your checking account, right? And here they pay 0.5%, right? So half a percent, 0.5% even on your checking, okay? 0.5 on your checking, 1.2% on your savings if you don't set up direct deposit. If you set up direct deposit, you will have 4% on your savings account, okay? And of course, you can move your money back and forth in between, once you've connected your regular brick and mortar bank, you can move anytime you want to send money to and from your both banks, right? From your brick and mortar bank to your high yield savings account, your SoFi Bank, you can do that, okay? But the good thing is, with that debit card, you can withdraw money and shop anywhere you want, and remove money, remove money from your get cash back from your SoFi account, right? From the checking account. So obviously, if you have your money in your savings, you need to remove some, transfer it over to your checking, and then every time you swipe with your checking account, with your debit card, like say the grocery store, you can get cash back, stuff like that. So I would highly encourage it. But if you're keeping money saved up, save it in a place that is going to work for you, okay? Where you're having a decent return on your money, and it's liquid, it's readily, quickly accessible. All right. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch this video. Like I said, if you want to get started, if you want to open an account, first link in the description below this video, and I will catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao.